Salt Lake City. We on episode 4. You know, I'm a little back behind, but I'm back. And let's get into it. We on episode 4 where they continue at their luncheon. Lisa then threw together where you slow showdown between her and Whitney went down with Whitney, then walked off and whatever, because she talked about her business. And Whitney said she needed a few minutes to cool down because she ain't about to deal with Lisa. So Lisa ended up continuing to go in on Angie. She goes into getting on Angie and Broadway. And her and Angie go back and forth. She's telling Angie, girl, you on 1.5. You on 1.5 business. I said this messy heifer. She said, you on 1.5 business. Angie went, what? Angie went, what are you talking about? Angie said, no, baby, I own business. I own a whole bunch of business. I own 3 businesses plus a franchise hoe. She's like, girl, you. So Angie going down her list of what she owned and everything else. And Angie said, girl, you need to stick with fries and not stick with franchise. And Mary went, what? Fries? What's going on? Heather like, girl, she said Angie said she need to stick with Lisa needs to stick with fries and she gonna stick with franchise. Oh, that's a good one. I said, that was crazy as hell. They are mad and I'm loving it. So, you know, as they continue to go back and forth, Angie said, Lisa said, you know, okay, so they get into the whole bringing up the child's line and everything else. Her son's name, the Wolf line. And Angie said, girl, you need to train you should have been more worried about promoting your own kids line, and then instead of hooking up with another salon person and promoting that, because your son's name line is a C line and it belongs at Walmart. But well, she didn't lie because it's been sitting in her salon for the last 3 years collecting dust. I said, well, she ain't lied on that one. And then all of a sudden you want to hear it. Then Meredith want to get into it. Meredith said, let's stop attacking businesses. And you know, and the kids. I said, girl, shut up. Because I said half of the time it's like I don't understand Meredith this whole entire season, to be honest. It's like all of a sudden you riding her down for Lisa when Lisa didn't dog, shoot, and clean out and told lies on you and your whole entire family. But you riding her down for her. And it's like, so was it true that our hot mic moment was all that true that she said about you or not, Meredith, and your whole entire family? That includes your kids too. All 3 of them. And your husband. So it's a little fishy. So as that stuff continued on between them going at it and stuff, Angie, so this is when Heather tried to, it's crazy how Heather just automatically ended up missing everything that was going on during the Lisa and Angie argument at this luncheon, at Lisa's luncheon for the dismissal stuff. She like focused on Angie, where Angie was dogging Lisa out, like, you need to stop being more attacking her. But I'm like, Lisa started all of this. Lisa started coming for her and her business and stuff like that. And so Angie came back at her. I said, yeah, I don't understand that whole want to be friends with Lisa. So everything else continues. At this point, they all try to get Lisa to understand some things that Lisa came out, I'm trying to be vulnerable. And I've been very vulnerable. I said, girl, you ain't never been vulnerable to nobody. You don't never apologize to anybody in this group. Either you done dog them out and put their stuff all over the place. And so she said she tried to be vulnerable. She apologized. She kind of apologized to Angie in a sort of way. And no, she didn't apologize to Angie. Angie ended up, she said, like, you hurt me and stuff towards Angie when it came to what Angie said on the camping trip about her being Cause saying she Jen Shaw, I said, well, she is. When it comes to the legal stuff, she is. I ain't gonna lie. And so Angie apologized about that. Then she went to Broadwin and tried to apologize to Broadwin, but Broadwin wasn't feeling it. Broadwin said, I ain't really feeling that right now, but Shwayne, when you really want to sit down and us one-on-one and talk about it and you really gonna take accountability for what you did, then we can talk. I said, now that's what I'm talking about. But I said she's never gonna take accountability. She gonna try to slick her way out of it, and y'all gonna take it and try to move forward. Because that's for some reason y'all want to be friends with Lisa. And she ain't even a good Lisa. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about her. So after that, we move on to we done with the lunch. We move on to Meredith. So Meredith, they show Meredith at her store getting ready to do her redo of the whole store because she want to do caviar. She trying to do a lounge type of thing, the store, the lounge, and upstairs and all this stuff. I mean, yeah. I said, okay, no more storyline for you. Moving on to there, we got Mary and Heather was out, doing a little luncheon. And we ended up finding out Mary said tequila tastes like hospital food. I said, wait, how that tastes like but whatever. Floats her boat. We move on to Whitney. Whitney at home, setting up her pose. She trying to get back to being old Whitney. I said, well, you dyed the hair, you dyed the hair red because you're trying to support your daughter. I said, so, the changing of the hair made you a little like you getting a more softer Whitney this time around. And I like when Whitney is in her blonde phase and she ain't taking no ish because she be on their necks. Definitely Lisa's. But this mellow Whitney, I like it too. She's still giving you a little 1-2 every now and then. I'm feeling it. After that, we move on to Lisa and Bronwyn sit down. So Bronwyn goes to Lisa and John's lounge for the tequila thing called Premier Lodge. It's like a lodge club and stuff. It was started a year ago and stuff. I said, but they didn't promote it, really. We seen like clips of her doing stuff there, but it was not really promoted. So okay. But so they sit down and have a little chit chat where they ended up talking about their issues and stuff like that, the back and forth of um what was going on. And Broadwin said, I felt hurt about, what was the stuff that went on last year, the reunion and things like that. And she took accountability for her. So all of a sudden, she tried to call Lisa out on the stuff Lisa has done. And Lisa tried to say that she's sorry for the stuff she's done, but she didn't try to flip it during the middle of the conversation, and they started to go back and forth. So Broadwin kind of just stopped it right there and just said, let's just end this. Let's apologize for the things we did and let's move forward. And so they end up becoming friends again, to be honest. This is when they start asking about family life and stuff like that. And this is what I don't like. I hated that Broadwin ended up just opening up to Lisa all so fast, telling her about her life and what's going on with her family and stuff like that. It's like, and telling her why she feel like she need to be she don't like when people don't like her and stuff like that. I didn't like when she actually gave her more ammo because that was Lisa used against people. And I said, I wish that she didn't do that. Because when she asked about what's going on with your son, you said, your son you told a little bit about your son coming home, but that was it. You didn't really go into detail, and that's the hard thing about it. It's like everybody else tells you more about what's going on with them because they think you are their friend, but you give them less surface level tea, but use it against them when they have an issue with you down the road. But that's when they good again. I look at Broadway and I don't get it. Because I said let's side note, the way the relationship between her mother and her, baby, I said, I don't see how you could ever let Lisa do the things that she do. Because your mother is cutthroat. And you should know the signs of that. Because your mama is that. But let's move on. Let me know how y'all feel. We move on past them, move on to Mary. So Mary then went to she on her way back to her church. Her church been closed for the last year or so. And she getting ready to reopen sometime soon. She doing renovation and everything. She with her big cousin and stuff. And her big cousin is a contractor. And so he been doing the whole renovation for her. He redid the whole floors and everything, but it's nails sticking out and stuff. And she said that need to be fixed and everything else. They end up talking about her son. And he asked what's going on with Robert Jr. And we ended up learning a little bit more. She said now that her and Robert Jr. had gotten closer, now she knows the signs of when something ain't right without him having to say it. And he'd be like, kind of not want to tell her. So she know how to move more through it. They ended up talking about her mother, talked about her grandmother and her mom. And the relationship with her mom, we ended up finding out her mom passed. And, her and her mom were distant. Her mom walked away from her. Her mom stopped talking to her because her mom didn't get anything from her mother, her grandmother. Grandmother told Mary that in order to get the fortune, she had to marry Robert Sr. And she said, me? Really? She was like, it was weird. But she did it. Yeah. I said, to me, I'm a little, the grandmother, that's weird to me because to have your granddaughter marry your husband, something say Robert Senior had a part in that, because there's no way that the grandmother would have all of a sudden wanted that. He had to have her do that some way, somehow manipulated her to make sure that Mary was the one. So that's just how I feel about it. So she ended up telling about that. She ended up breaking down, about her mom and stuff. And, she said it's closed. They never got resolved and everything. That's just sad. Let's move on past them. Let's get into Angie and Heather. So Angie and Heather, baby. So Angie had to get her, she let her constant autonomy, her hair license then collapsed. So she got to go and get the license all over again. So Heather is her test dummy. So she dyed Heather hair, not permanently. So she ended up telling Heather about what just went down after the luncheon. That Lisa then sent her assistant over. She thinking she at her salon with her hubby, and they seen a young lady come through, and the young lady said she here to pick up the Wolf products. So she said she had to go all the way down in the basement in the back of the corner and pick up these dusty products. And the assistant told her that, baby, Lisa did cash app you. And then Lisa cash apped her with a nasty note Said, take this money, take this $600 to hire a cleaner to dust the place. I said, bitch, I can't stand you, Lisa. So Angie hit her back with a test. She said, you should have took that money and paid them people that you owe. I said, I can't. The people that you owe. And she said something else to Lisa, and I can't remember what it was because I'm too caught up in my laughing. Oh, man. I said, yeah. So, Heather, like, oh my God, Heather, like, you can't do that. You was wrong for that. You was wrong for that, Angie. You was wrong for that. You can't be Angie. Went, what? What you mean, Angie? Went, she came for me first. She the one sending that girl over here, girl over to my place. So you can't be doing that. You attacked her child business. I said, what do you not see? Lisa attacked her. Lisa sent that girl over there, then sent a nasty text first. And Angie wasn't supposed to say nothing back to the helpful. And so she said, I can't support you when you do stuff like that. But I said, but you support Lisa? I said, girl, get out of here. You a messy hoe. But moving on past her, let's get into Broadway and Whitney. So they ended up meeting up and ended up working out their situation because Brittany ended up figuring out when she seen at the Lisa luncheon where Lisa and Whitney got into it, she actually realized that her issue when her on the cabin trip with her and Whitney got into a little one-on-one, she realized that, oh, she messed up. And she apologized to Whitney. Whitney said, thank you. And I apologize for the things I said to you on the trip, saying, you know, you be giving that Georgia dog. And so they ended up talking about Whitney ended up having a real conversation with her about her daughter and saying that she need to reconnect with her daughter, saying that, you need to take this time out off Jared. You need to stop dating for a while and really show your daughter that she really counts, that she really counts and you can do this. Take 30 days off, show your daughter that you really value her. She's standing there looking like, what? Huh? Playing with a cactus? Huh? She ain't, girl, stop playing with that cactus. Because she went, right now, it seems like you ain't listening to me and you making me mad. Because it was like, she went, I got a daughter. And she went, you not making any sense. You're not making any sense about this. And it's just sad that Brittany actually chooses actually going for men's and not being there for her kids, but wants the relationship with her kids. It's like, girl, you want it, but you don't really want it. You just act like it. You're a deadbeat mother, like a lot of these deadbeat dads. There's a lot of deadbeat moms and dads out here. It's an equal amount of them, but you hear a lot about the dads than the mothers, and it's just sad. But that's what happened. Let me make sure. Oh no, there's some more. Oh God, I thought I was done with this stuff, y'all. But we got Broadwin. So Broadwin at home and her child. Her child, since Broadwin daughter then graduated college, she then moved the daughter boyfriend into the house. I said, oh girl, that is messy. So the daughter and the boyfriend saying they was going bowling. And Broadwin said, y'all ain't going no bowling. They said, we are going bowling. We didn't got the t-shirts and the team together. Going bowling mean they spending quality time. So her and her mom ended up having a conversation about parenting. And she asked her mom, like, how you feel about, me moving her boyfriend. And her mom said that would have never flowed with me. She mean, like our parenting is totally different. Her mom was a hard parent, hard parenting. And her mom believes that it actually worked. But Brown said no, because I still got pregnant. I said, well, but you was also 19, girl. You was after college. So I'm like, well, I said, well, I wait, to me, it's like you was 19. Like your mama and your daddy didn't mess up. I said, you getting pregnant at 19, that was a decision you made. That wasn't on them. But them being Mormons and the dad actually working for the Mormon church, the mom tried to hide. She was into hiding it from the church and stuff. And she was very strong. The mom tried to make her feel bad about when they having a conversation about parenting, telling her I had to try to hide it, from the church. It was really hard on me, making her feel bad about her being pregnant. And Brahma said, even though when I was pregnant, you would not celebrate none of it, but you celebrated my two other sisters, their pregnancy. I said, dang. She said that even for not even celebrating my pregnancy or anything caused me not to even want to even try again to have another kid. And I said, wow. And also, the mom brought up, like, if we wasn't around, then when after you had baby girl, you know, she would have ended up in foster care because we had to watch her. Bravo said, I work, right? Bravo said, I would have got a second job. She went, so don't even go to a dark place like that. She said, what? I said, that mama is crazy. That mama is crazy. And see now, I said, lady, you are insane. It's like just because she didn't live the life that you wanted her to live and did things her way, like you could have lived the life you wanted to live, but you chose not to because you live in that Mormon philosophy. That's just what it was. And it was really upsetting because she was telling her mom you hurting me by what you're saying. And her mom just like, is what it is. And stuck to her mom just who she is, and she stuck to how she felt. And I think that Bronwyn and her mother, their parenting is different. She says that's why she do the different things with her daughter. And I'm like, you and your daughter, you and Gwen going to be close, but moving her boyfriend into the house is a mistake. It really is. Because I said she's 19, and she's gonna go out here and live her life. But y'all gonna always have that connection, and you think it's going to change. It may not. You may never know. But I said by doing this, it may change because you moving him in doesn't mean anything to me. I don't think it's gonna make the situation y'all closeness closer. I think it may cause a wedge. You may not see it right now, but some way, some form, I think it will. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. But let's move on to the last thing and the best thing of it, and that was Angie and yeah, Angie and Meredith. I said that's the last part I got to do. So Angie and Meredith meet up because Angie had to tell Meredith about the tea that just happened with her and Lisa at her salon because she also had to tell some tea. So they met up for a little lunch and everything, and she wanted to get the 411 to Meredith, and she told Meredith, what happened with Lisa coming to her salon, sending her assistant to the salon and everything, and that what happened. And she also told her, "Train girl, I need to let you know something. I know we ain't got the best relationship, but when you and Lisa was having problems, she was trying to get me to look up dirt on you, a lot of dirt on you, girl. Yes, looking here, there, everywhere under the sun to try to drag you into some stuff." And I chose not to. So I just wanted to let you know. And Meredith went, well, I have to talk to her about this. But she already said she don't believe anything Angie was saying because her and Angie don't really have a good relationship. I said, the heifer, you know she telling the truth. Because Hot Mike moment could never live down. I said that heifer ain't called. She didn't call you when your daddy died. She didn't care about that. And that Hot Mike moment should never ever leave your mind. But yeah, but that's what all that happened this episode. I said I didn't think I was gonna be on here this long. Dang. But y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. And that was Housewives of Salt Lake City episode.